basically put your finger on the number at the moment, the India issue coming up. Well, if India does support the resolution, and they have said that they are thinking about it, and they have more or less told us basically that they are going to vote in line with what the UN is proposing, what would be the effect on it when it concerns Sri Lanka?
With what the US is proposing?
Yes.
I think reading through what Honorable Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, has said, I had the great privilege of associating with the Indian Prime Minister during my time in office on the regularity of my meetings, and I found him to be a very understanding, supportive leader of India, of Sri Lanka. Today, when he spoke in the Rajya Sabha, I witnessed him speaking, and there, what he was trying to say is, he said the pressure is virtually, not the very words he used, but and the applaud that came when he announced that they are inclined to vote with the US resolution showed that he had to cater to a more domestic requirement at the expense of a long-term historical relationship that we have enjoyed with India. But having said that, these are always situations that you can overcome. We have had similar situations in the past, and our leaders have been able to wither these developments, and country has gone forward. And today again we have to look at from that positive angle, and we must be very pragmatic in terms of our engagement. Similarly with even the United States, okay, when you see the number of INGOs that have been making representations in Geneva, and that shows how close the US resolution and that of the representations that have been coming out of the some of the LTT front organizations that are making representations in Geneva. So the similarity of both the resolution and that of the agitations have demonstrated who is doing what and who is doing what for whom these being catered to. So these are things as a mature country, mature leadership in Sri Lanka, we must come to understand and go forward with the engagement, which I term diplomacy is an all-time business, and we have to keep our switch on all the time with the world in terms of engagement.
We have just received the results of the UNHRC vote on the resolution against Sri Lanka, and currently Sri Lanka has lost the votes at 24 votes to 15, and 8 countries have abstained from voting, and the focal point right now is that India has actually voted against Sri Lanka. So what do you think of the results that have just come in?
Looking at the fact that the US-backed resolution has got only 24 out of 47 countries in the council, and it's not the numerical strength that we have to go by. Here is where Sri Lanka has put ourselves forward. We met the challenge that we had to meet, and thereby a resolution by itself, as we discussed originally, is not a resolution with all that teeth that can have very far-reaching consequences, except for the fact that we are now on a UNHCR agenda. Having said that, the Indian factor, the fact that India has voted against Sri Lanka, is a concern that we all must express, because India is our most valued friend in the whole world. India is our immediate neighbor, only 20 miles across the Indian Ocean, the Bok Strait. And thereby today India is, has expressed their vote with the United States over Sri Lanka. Now, why have they done so? Is it the fact that they want Sri Lanka to get targeted in terms of an international agenda? Or is it that they had to survive as a government in Delhi without losing their support in Tamil Nadu when they were threatening to withdraw the support they have extended to the coalition of the Congress? Now, with this scenario, we have to weigh the pros and cons, but one thing we have to keep in mind: this should not be taken as a continuing process. In international affairs, these situations come up. countries have to face certain challenges, and once you finish that challenge, you must not take it as a permanent, what we call a disability for the country. I think that is where the starting point begins. That's what diplomacy is all about. That's what we have to practice. Now India is one country that we have to engage. We have to understand their own limitations, and we have to get them on board as much as we got them on board the time when we were fighting terrorism, and we countered terrorism at that time very successfully, and we had the Indian support to say that we were able to get this process through. Out of the other countries in the SAARC who are members of the council, you have Maldives, you have Bangladesh, you have Pakistan. They all have expressed their support in favor of Sri Lanka. Now that has at least demonstrated the SAARC fraternity. The South Asian cooperation is still there, and India may have got isolated in terms of that fraternity composition, and Sri Lanka now must go forward. And I think this should not be looked at as a defeat, but we must look at that as an opportunity for engagement on the strides that matter for us to do proper engagement. And these and the LLRC report, which is the main basics of this resolution, is our own report. There is nothing that is being imposed on us, except for the process being imposed on us. So therefore, I think we should take it as an opportunity. And again, the US having moved a resolution against us, we are a very close US country, and we have never threatened